Retaining his light heavyweight championship of the world, Jan Blachowicz defeats Israel Adesanya by way of a unanimous decision in a fight in which Jan Blachowicz most definitely deserved to get his hands raised. It was a fight where Adesanya really had a lot of trouble getting the respect of his opponent. He tried to feint, which obviously worked. He tried to get in, leg kick, do his thing, it worked. But all of the quality punches, for the most part, or the quality success that truly mattered and made a difference, kind of came at the hands of Jan Blachowicz. If you were to compare the power punches that landed between Adesanya and Jan Blachowicz round per round, it is very clear that Jan Blachowicz was landing the more harder shots and really gaining the respect from Adesanya himself, making Adesanya a little bit more gun-shy and a little bit more timid, not really wanting to come in on Jan Blachowicz. However, as the second round ended and the third round came to be, we saw a kind of change in the methods of Adesanya. He knew that being on the outside and connecting with flush shots was not really earning the respect of Jan Blachowicz, so he started to come forward himself. Now, Adesanya is better on the back foot than the front foot in my opinion, as he tries to, for example, throw the right straight without a setup. He kind of is like Conor McGregor, he just fully extends into the shot, and then as he's trying to pop back out, he's kind of exposed. So Jan Blachowicz made sure that he was able to get that down and catch him on the exit or counter that particular shot. And for the most part, the shots that Adesanya tried to connect with his boxing, these were not really that significant when it comes to the, headshotting part. And when it comes to actually hurting Jan Blachowicz, I don't really think Adesanya did that for the most part. There was one shot that he landed, a good flush left hook that put Jan Blachowicz on the back foot, kept him there, and he kind of earned his respect in that regard. But then immediately, the following round, you saw Jan Blachowicz switch things up and take Adesanya down and just keep him down. In the fourth round, he kept him down for, I believe, 3 minutes, and then the second round was about 2 minutes as well. So without a question, the last two rounds had to go to Jan Blachowicz. Even in the stand-up department, he was landing with great amounts of jabs and flush shots, leg kicks himself. He was checking leg kicks as well. Adesanya did his usual thing. However, as I said going into this fight, I felt like Adesanya will be doing twice as much work to get half as far comparing what he does at middleweight. And I think that holds a lot of truth, especially when it comes down to actually trying to get up when being taken down or being put on the fence. These things really matter, and they really make a big difference in a fight, especially in mixed martial arts. They really break the rhythm, and for the most part, if you get taken down for 3 rounds and you had a good 1.5 minutes on the stand-up department, you're not really winning that round regardless. So Adesanya kind of had that going for him. And if we are going to make the argument that Adesanya won the first 3 rounds clearly, then I can't really agree with that. I have to say that even though Adesanya had good moments, in the second round he really was less effective, but in the first and third round he really did good amounts of work. So second, fourth, and fifth, in my opinion, have to go to Jan Blachowicz. And there was, I believe, a scorecard that was 10-8 for Jan Blachowicz, which was probably the fourth round. That is why we saw a 49-45 scorecard from one of the judges. This was a honorable effort. You just can't say that Adesanya didn't try his best. Adesanya went in there, tried to become a double champion, and he just came up short. Whether it was his inability to really put in his physicality into play and earn the respect in terms of strength, and having Jan Blachowicz kind of back off, it was really not that effective. I would have to say, Adesanya's ability to earn respect was not effective. And going into this fight, I knew that he was not going to be hurting Jan Blachowicz. He was not going to be knocking him down. He was not going to be knocking him out. And when you take a look at Jan Blachowicz, you have that knockout threat. You have that big punch threat, especially with the size difference between these two fighters. I believe that in the ring, I wouldn't be surprised if Adesanya was around 196, 197, and Jan Blachowicz 220. So there's a difference in that category, and it's a big one. And we saw that when he got taken down, he just couldn't really get up at all. Even though he was able to scramble pretty well initially, in the later stages of the fight, Jan Blachowicz just bulldozed through on his takedowns and just got it down. And respect, to Jan Blachowicz. He really showed his prestige. He showed that he is a champion, and nothing can be taken away from him. Respect goes to Jan Blachowicz and Israel Adesanya for putting up a great fight. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was very competitive. In these initial exchanges, you never really knew who was going to get the worst out of it, and it was a very exciting fight. I liked it very much. Perhaps Adesanya can try to come at the light heavyweight division again in the near future. Perhaps try a different way of bulking up, but I don't think that is going to be the most important part for Israel Adesanya. I think he's going to be the most effective at middleweight, and I think that he should stay there and dominate that division. It was kind of like Max Holloway trying to move up to 155, and immediately he was not able to earn the respect of Dustin Poirier, and the power made a big difference, and the grappling exchanges made a difference, and everything that Max Holloway did was seemingly less effective than what he was accustomed to getting at featherweight. So these are the things that you have to take into consideration moving up in these weight classes. You could have all the skill in the world, however, we can't ignore the physical attributes and all the gifts that a certain fighter has. Most of the time you don't need to be the better fighter to beat the better fighter in terms of skill, technique, and things of that nature. As long as you can outsmart them and use the things that you have in your advantage against them, you have a great shot of winning. And especially if you fight smart, there's really no reason for you not to overcome your opponent. To that end, I thank you all for watching this video. Leave in the comment section down below what is next for both Jan Blachowicz and Israel Adesanya. I've been Keeney from KeeneyKTV, signing off. Later.